Life is a vast journey, yet for those of us just starting to find our footing, the path already feels fraught with endless obstacles. We all dream of a brilliant life, a legacy that echoes. But wealth, status, and success are not distributed equally. In the world of cinema, there are always stories that favor those whom the spotlight seems destined to never touch. Today, I want to tell you the story of 4 nameless little demons from Mount Lang Lang, each unique in their own way, yet bound by a common thread. They are penniless, ragged, and possess the lowest level of powers in the demon realm. After a reckless mistake that nearly cost them their lives, these 4 dared to do the unthinkable. They disguised themselves as Monk Tang and his disciples, harboring a wild ambition to journey to the West and achieve Buddhahood. Every great journey begins with a single step. But can a grand ambition truly overcome a humble destiny preordained by the heavens? In this life, is moving forward with all our might enough to guarantee success? And what does it truly take to reach the radiant glory we pursue? Let's find the answers together in the journey of the 4 little demons of Mount Lang Lang. The world of these little demons feels hauntingly familiar to many adults because it mirrors how our modern society operates. The story begins with a young boar demon, an apprentice striving to join the Great King's Cave, ruled by the Tiger King. Think of the Great King's Cave as the ultimate corporate conglomerate of Mount Lang Lang. For a minor demon, earning an official wooden badge means status, a way to hold their head high before family and neighbors. The boar and his friend, the toad, a kitchen hand, were tasked with scrubbing a massive, greasy bronze cauldron. Hearing rumors that the Tiger King was preparing to cook the flesh of Monk Tang for immortality, the boar was determined to scrub that pot until his own bristles wore off, hoping for just a few leftover scraps. Little did he know, he scrubbed so hard that he erased the sacred calligraphy carved by the Tiger King's ancestor. The 2 barely escaped with their lives. That incident felt like a cruel mockery of their greatest efforts. Look at those who failed before them. The goat and the rhino left their pots filthy, yet were only punished with 40 lashes. By all logic, the boar and the toad deserved a reward for their spotless work. Instead, they faced the envy of colleagues and a death sentence from the king. This disaster resonates with the struggles of every rookie entering the workforce, inexperienced, without a safety net, forced to work until their skin crawls just to be recognized. But not everyone is lucky enough to find a kind boss or friendly co-workers. While the toad wept, believing his life was over, the boar had a daring idea: to intercept Monk Tang and claim the prize before the Great King's men could. He hadn't realized that Sun Wukong had just decimated the demons at De Huan Cave, a powerhouse equal to their own. Knowing a direct confrontation was suicide, the boar plotted to disguise themselves as the pilgrims. While the real Monk Tang and his disciples were being feasted by the emperor for 10 days and nights, weren't those disciples once demons themselves? If Tang San Sang and his followers could seek the scriptures and become Buddhas, why couldn't they? Being the smallest, the toad was given the priority to play Monk Tang, while the boar became Jubaji. Having only heard of the legendary pilgrims but never having seen them, they sought out a chicken painter, hoping he could illustrate the likeness of Sun Wukong and Sandy. With only the vague, blurred descriptions provided by his clients, the painter produced dozens of sketches, only for the boar and toad to choose the ugliest one. By that point, the chicken painter had no energy left to explain or advise. As long as they paid him in grain, he was content. He was simply exhausted after a grueling day. This is a story all too familiar to those in the creative industry. No matter how well trained or refined their aesthetic sense may be, they often have to suppress their own vision to cater to a client's whims, all for the sake of survival. We are told that without pressure, there are no diamonds, and that a professional doesn't work by inspiration alone, but always finds a way to deliver a polished product. Yet the consequence is that over time, their creativity and personal standards are slowly stifled and reshaped by the hands of others. Armed with that bizarre portrait, the boar and the toad recruited a yellow weasel and a gorilla, forming the cheapest knockoff version of Monk Tang's disciples. The irony lies in the fact that a counterfeit can never truly resemble the original. While Monk Tang was steadfast and virtuous, their leader was indecisive and opportunistic. While Sun Wukong was a fearless shapeshifter, their gorilla was so terrified he did nothing but cry throughout the journey. Zhu Baji was famously gluttonous and lazy, yet the boar was diligent and served as the group's spiritual pillar. Sandy was patient and soft-spoken, but the weasel never stopped his endless chatter. And while the white dragon horse could travel 1,000 miles a day, the horse these little demons stole was lame and served only as a prop. During their wandering journey, they stopped for food at a small temple where only a single blind abbot remained. He treated them with immense kindness. Being blind, he could not see their true forms. Hearing their polite and respectful words, he firmly believed they were the real pilgrims, and even gifted them a cassock. In Bak Truong village, they were moved by a sense of justice and joined forces to defeat a rat demon that had been terrorizing the locals. The villagers were deeply moved and offered gifts in gratitude. After this glorious victory, the boar brought his brothers to visit his family, bringing food to his mother, who was struggling to care for a brood of piglets and a husband who had been bedridden for a long time. It was here that the boar's father taught each member a secret mantra that could unleash their full power in a life or death situation. But the price was steep. Their souls would be shattered, and they would lose themselves forever. Their illusion of being true pilgrims grew as they passed through the dog's cave. 2 dog demons, mistaking them for the real disciples, were struck with fear. The group was served, bathed, and dressed in finer clothes than ever before. But the tragedy truly began when they reached the Thunder Monastery, the lair of the yellow-browed Great King. Yellowbrow is one of the most cunning villains in Journey to the West. Originally an attendant to the Maitreya Buddha, he fled to the mortal realm and established a fake temple, calling himself a Buddha, an act of pure rebellion and hunger for power. His henchmen were fierce and numerous, capturing 5 pairs of children to sacrifice for Yellowbrow's power before his ultimate showdown with Sun Wukong. With their naive appearance and bottomless lack of martial skill, the boar's group was quickly exposed as frauds. Yellowbrow offered them a choice: submit and become his pawns to save their lives, or stand up against him to save the innocent children. In the end, virtue prevailed. The group united, chanting the mantra given by the boar's father to merge into one powerful being. Though their power increased 100-fold and they defeated Yellowbrow, they were left utterly exhausted, their life force drained. As the sun rose, the children were saved, but the 4 little demons lost all their magic, reverting into mindless animals with no memory of the heroic yet tragic journey they had just endured. If viewed simply as a cartoon, The Little Demons of Mount Lang Lang is a tribute to the resilience and courage of the Nameless. Though they never achieved Buddhahood, they acted with righteousness and saved countless lives. It makes us believe that hero is a title defined by actions, not by birth. But beneath that surface lies a more agonizing truth: the tragedy of those who try their absolute best, but still cannot change their destiny. They believed in their mission, but they could never touch immortality or world-renowned fame. Their sad ending wasn't because they lacked the courage to dream. It was because from the very beginning, they were on a path that was never meant for them. There is a bitter truth. Whether an individual's life is extraordinary is often decided by factors beyond their control: family, environment, and connections. When they were caught, Yellowbrow's general said, "You can never succeed." Do you know why? Because the Buddha and Sun Wukong have known each other for 500 years. Zhubaji and Sandy were heavenly generals, and Tang Sanzang is the golden cicada, the sworn brother of the emperor. Do you really think just anyone can go on a pilgrimage? You are just a bunch of nobodies. Indeed, Sun Wukong was born from a celestial stone, a disciple of Subhuti with 72 transformations and a body of diamond. Zhubajie was a marshal commanding 80,000 naval troops. Sandy was a great general of the heavens. Even the horse was a dragon prince. The pilgrimage was designed as a path for those with powerful destinies to find redemption. Most of us can't even reach the starting line of those great figures, no matter how hard we try. The little demons of Mount Lang Lang are just tiny, nameless beings. Because the truth is, not everyone who holds a staff is Sun Wukong, and not everyone who wears a cassock is Monk Tang. Great figures are the exception, while this world is built upon the shoulders of countless nobodies. From its very title, The Little Demons of Mount Lang Lang, or simply Nobody, is a story dedicated to ordinary people who carry big dreams and dive into life with nothing but hope. We long to become someone, to achieve something grand, only to realize that maintaining a simple, normal life is a monumental task in itself. Initially, the four demons had practical goals: achieve immortality and bring honor to their families. They are just like us, children raised in humble homes, worrying about exams and grades, hoping to find a job and support ourselves. But along the way, fueled by the gratitude and expectations of others, they began to shoulder responsibilities far beyond their abilities. And that is where their tragedy began. The toad represents those who only wish to be salarymen, living day to day as long as their peace remains undisturbed. Tactful and submissive, he was content scrubbing pots in the great king's cave. He clung to stability despite his lowly status, willing to kneel and beg just to stay safe. He wept uncontrollably when he lost his job, a job he considered respectable, and blamed the boar for ruining his happy life. Even when facing death, he clung to his employee ID badge. That wooden tag was his Medal of Honor, his only proof of having a place in society. The toad lost himself in a sophisticated system that slowly eroded his spirit. When he left the cave, he didn't know who he was or what he wanted. He was the first to kneel before Yellowbrow, having grown all too accustomed to being trampled upon. The boar represents the ambitious soul, daring to try new things and giving his all for a taste of glory. Hunger fueled his resilience. Despite the hardships, he was the visionary, the spiritual leader. Because he came from nothing, he worshipped material success. Yet the boar was also a realist. Once his basic needs were met, he was tempted to abandon his sense of justice. He became the next to submit to the Demon King, willing to ignore the lives of innocent children for his own survival. Strangely, the most steadfast characters were the gorilla and the yellow weasel. Initially, they only joined because the boar convinced them. They represent those who sacrifice their individuality to fit into a collective. The talkative weasel became the silent porter, carrying the group's burdens without a word. The gorilla left his hideout to try and integrate into society, forcing himself to act with the confidence of Sun Wukong. The tragedy is that they played their roles so well, they forgot who they truly were. Yet it was the innocent determination of the gorilla and the weasel that eventually moved the boar's heart. He realized how cowardly and heartless he had become. The toad, out of love for his best friend, also rushed into the fray. These four little demons knew they couldn't save the world. They couldn't even save themselves. They weren't heroes born for greatness. They were just nobodies following their hearts to stand against evil. After the laughter of the early chapters, the sight of them giving everything to fight Yellowbrow is heartbreaking. The boar, carrying the fused spirits of his three friends, ran with tears streaming down his face, knowing death was certain. When the battle ended, a profound sadness remained. Yellowbrow was revealed to be an attendant of the Maitreya Buddha. Despite his heinous crimes, he was given a chance at redemption. When another attendant asked the Buddha about the fate of the four little demons, the Buddha simply laughed and walked away. To him, they were insignificant. As the sun rose, the four demons lost their powers and reverted to their original forms, forgetting the friends they had just faced death with. Perhaps this is the most realistic and merciful ending for them. For the weak, choosing to do what is right often means choosing death. The powerful, even when they know the truth, rarely help a nobody unless there is a gain. Kindness without power often leads to helplessness. Why did you give up a safe, easy life? What do you truly want? Yellowbrow asked the boar before the final strike. The little boar replied, I want to live the way I like. Their sacrifice was not in vain. The village they passed through now lives in peace, and the villagers built a small shrine to honor them. Their story will live on through the children they saved. Ultimately, Sun Wukong, passing by, used his magic to give them 4 life-saving hairs, a silent recognition of their courage. In an interview, the producer Chen Liuyu said, "The 4 little demons aren't actually bothered. When Monk Tang's group passes by, the little pig looks at them with big, innocent eyes free of sorrow. It is a new life with its own joys and endless possibilities. In reality, most of us are just like them. If we stop grieving over what is lost or unattainable, we can finally find happiness. When the door to immense wealth narrows, when dreams of grand success feel hollow, and when effort no longer guarantees a result, we learn to understand our limits and find joy in peace. These little demons lived the life they loved and became the heroes they once dreamed of. The essence of the pilgrimage is, after all, the refinement of the soul. The final dedication of the film, to all those who are brave enough to begin, is a balm for everyone struggling in the real world. The movie offers no grand advice or promises of a glorious end. It simply reminds us that in a world that rarely favors the weak, the act of daring to start is, in itself, an act of supreme courage.